record button. And here goes the encoder button. Rah. And we live.
Welcome back. Thank you for once again hanging out with us. This is the one and only IT in the D Show Quarantine Edition, episode 378, broadcasting from our respective houses. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. Randy, I do the Twitters, is doing the Twitters. Find us online, itinthed.com, and do us a favor, give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Yeah, and so as per usual, no, we're not doing events anytime soon. And yes, we're well aware of the snafu that happened with Meetup. Yes, you can stop emailing us about the problem that happened. Yes, it was fixed that morning. Yes, we're all good. We're aware. Thank you so much for all the emails asking if we were all okay.
And I found out that the Rona doesn't exist in Ohio, so everybody that I know is going to Ohio.
Oh, geez.
What do you mean?
The Rona doesn't exist. Once you hit that line, that border line,
okay.
All the restaurants are open down there.
Oh,
so this might be the IT and the T show.
And then we're gonna head to Toledo.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get to go to Toledo this year for the Fantasticon that we always love and enjoy. So,
right, but there's I don't know why it wasn't, because the Rona it doesn't go down. It doesn't happen apparently there. So
people.
It's open though. And this is the look of a human being that was able to get a appointment at the barber, but had to keep his mask on and get his beard cut. So I got everything cut except for this square around my mouth.
Yeah, I need to go to the barber, but I'm not going to until I can get full service.
Took the strings down on this side and could cut on over here. They took the string down over here because that stopped the Rona, but I couldn't just take it off. So now I still have this ridiculously long curly mustache.
Look like you're plotting to tie Nell to the train tracks.
At this point I might as well. I did order red pants from Shinesty, so at this point just run with it.
Just run with it. I guess one other little piece of business before we dive in, for those who didn't see the post, that's, as Bob mentioned, we are broadcasting from our quarantine homes. We have it is with a heavy heart, we announced that we have permanently closed at least our current Royal Oak location. That place was home to us for about 5 years. We just literally could not figure out how to open up a multiple studio location safely. There were some other complications that went along with it, and so we're all done there. But I mean, the good touch is it's not like we're slowing down. The studio that's in Detroit Shipping Company is still doing great and filling up. The studio in Northville is doing great. And we actually just built out a studio in Hamtramck, which coincidentally is a block and a half away from Whiskey in the Jar. There's no relationship there whatsoever, or any intent there at all. But yeah, so
no,
I mean that's
whatsoever.
No.
So are we talking about stupid memes, Disney or Mandalorian? Even though they're
I guess let's start with the stupid wiener memes and we'll go from there.
I haven't really hated people in a while because I haven't been around people, except for, and usually the memes have been really funny. My entire phone is literally filled with.
Oh yeah, I have quite the archive rolling. Yeah.
No, and it's one of three things. So like the group that I send all my political stuff to, right? I have those. The group that I send wrestling stuff to, right? I have those. And then there's just I call them the butts and wiener memes, right? I have those. Today it was the butthole sunning. Apparently that's a thing. If you ever want to Google it and get in a wormhole, Google butthole sunning. Apparently they do yoga.
I feel like we've talked about that guy before. Like I feel like when that story initially broke like 3 months ago.
Yeah, but that's a thing now.
No,
Apparently.
and that's the guy. Like that, I feel like that was the guy in the story that we talked about.
Yeah, read about it. It'll and then there's the Corona memes. Just there's a whole bunch of generals. And there's the lion sucks. So I have like my whole phone's full. But the two of them came out this week where I wanted to reach through the TV and or
Ooh, let me
consider
guess. Let me guess. One of them is the mandatory vacations.
Yes, thank
picture of the
you.
syringe.
Well, so like I read this thing and go, we need mandatory vacations. I'm like, yeah. Like I just kind of glossed over it. And then all of a sudden I look at the comment and it's like, herder, stupid,
Aren't you afraid
not
of it?
taking it.
Dirk.
I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what are you angry about? Like, what are you not taking? Like, I want to go on vacation.
Right.
And then I read it and it's because they think it's vaccination.
Yeah.
And it's not. And it didn't even go. And everything was angry. All the comments were angry. And I'm looking at this going, how did you not read? Like, didn't even
people don't even read headlines. I think we know this. It's a thing.
But it's the word is like, it's not even like dessert and desert where you're like, which one's which?
Right.
Like a vaccination and vacation is like
are pretty far apart. Yeah.
Right.
Well, but
So,
against
like,
the background of a syringe with a I mean,
it's like, it's to the point now where you see VAC and you get so angry, you just start typing and you're like, I don't like you. And the other one that bothered me, it got shared, I want to say 10 times from people. And the first time I just let it go. Second time I let it go. Third time I let it go. Fourth time I let it go. Finally, I'm like, okay, the math is bad.
Is this the deadliest days in American history meme?
Yes.
Dude, you'd have been, even I went off on that one.
So I'm looking like it's the last week. It's been 7 of the deadliest days in human history. And I'm like, no.
Well, in American history, it was
American. I'm like, no. So then I just Google and it was like 2,400, 3,200. You know what I mean? There was like those type of numbers. And then I'm like, okay, let me Google.
And for real, those numbers are bad. Those numbers are serious. And those numbers are real.
And you can say, and here's the thing, a correct title.
Yes. Would have eliminated the problem completely. Yeah.
But it's trying to push some sort of narrative that doesn't exist. And I look and I'm like, okay, 7,700 people in a normal year die every day.
Yep.
Right. And then I know, every month there's a 9/11 with opioid deaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But nobody talks about that. But like for some reason like this, like people talk about it every single day. And it's, I'm just inundated with, every news article has to update how many people are sick every single day.
Well, and I mean, and it was because when I got into it with people about it, people were getting shitty with me about either being nitpicky or obviously not taking it seriously. And I'm like, dude, no, you know me. You know I take this shit seriously, and you know that I think it's a real thing. I'm like, my problem is that if, quote unquote, the other side had posted something that was that factually misleading, you and I would be fighting over who gets to be first in line to jump down their throat about it.
Oh, I'm an equal opportunity.
Oh no, I don't mean you. I mean the person that was arguing with me.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you know damn well and good that if a Republican or somebody had posted something with a similarly misleading headline with data underneath it that didn't really match up to facts, you and I would be kicking, we'd be fighting each other to be the first in line to
something like that shouldn't have a narrative, and that's one of the things that's driving me nuts around.
And don't get me wrong, it's a perfectly valid point that your point about hey, there's a 9/11 every month from opioids. Yeah, there's a valid point that there's a 9/11 every day from COVID.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's a very valid point and it's a very real thing, but the meme is misleading and is not factually accurate based on the headline.
Right. But then another thing I wrote, someone wrote this diatribe and I'm a stats and numbers guy.
Yep.
Because here's the thing, you can put stats and numbers out and you can have 10 different people come up with 10 different stories on what those numbers mean to them.
Yeah.
So I don't like providing my color commentary on things like this because it's my opinion.
And it's always interpreted wrong by someone who wants to interpret it wrong.
But numbers are numbers. So I'm like, okay, I put the numbers from like what April looked like compared to what November looked like in terms of numbers, right? And that's it. And then I also put hospitalizations. There's that I think it's Michigan.gov that shows all the Michigan what the hospital rates are in terms of how many open beds, how many available beds, how many taken beds in ICU, normal, and it's a big breakdown. And actually I love that chart graph because it's a ton of stats and a ton of numbers. And I get, I got screamed at. I'm like, no. I'm providing zero color commentary other than raw numbers.
Yep.
You come up with your own story.
Yeah.
And apparently that's,
Apparently
it's
that
funny
is
how-
commentary now. Yeah.
Yeah, you come up with your own because you're going to interpret one way and someone else is going to interpret it another way. But I at least like to start there. You know what I mean? Because everybody's talking out of their ass lately. And, I just, okay, here's raw numbers. You come up with your own story.
Well, yeah, because people who can't tell the difference between your and there are now, epidemiologists and constitutional scholars. So that's how that works on Facebook.
People need to get out. People need to go to the bar. I think that's the bottom line of this. It's like they're going nuts. Like you go drive lately. Like I haven't driven, I don't think 10 miles in the last month, but like go out and get coffee and like get cut off 13 times.
Oh, dude, people on 94 are clinically insane. Like every time I drive down to DSC, I almost die at least.
That was the oh my God, what was that meme that went out? What was the exact?
Oh, it was the screen capture of a Pornhub video that said "Guy lets me merge on 94."
Yeah. Like,
and it was liked like a bajillion times. Yeah,
24,000 views.
Yeah. Which is
so
true.
funny.
And dude, and like when you shared that, like that's why I said, I mean, I am utterly convinced that nobody teaches people in Michigan how to merge properly, how to handle multiple turn lanes at an intersection. Because everybody just apparently wants to start on the inside lane and then just lazily drift over to the outside lane.
Well, there was a big push on teaching people the zipper method.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of going on with that because I want to be the car on the left when it merges right. And I'm going to go 2 miles an hour and leave 3 miles in front of me so no one can get around me once I merge over. Because that's a thing. Like that's a sport. Like that should be on TV. Like I've been that guy a few times where I'm like, I'm going to merge over. Then I'm going to get 3,000 cars going on the left of me. So I'm just going to sit right here. And I'm not going to go in front of this guy because he's already merged over.
The answer to that is then you merge too quickly.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. The other thing is, I was going to say the Michigan left the turnarounds that are super wide for trucks, but people
that are only one lane. Yeah,
people treat them like 2-3 lanes.
Well, and I was talking to Kyle from down in Toledo, posted something about people like passing a line of cars to get to the second drive-through lane at a fast food joint. And I'm like, no, that is not their fault. You are the worst person in society if you are that person that is hanging like 10 to 15 back, 10 to 15 feet back, waiting to see which line is going to let you get your double heart attack with cheese 87 seconds faster, and you're not just queuing up in a line. Like I hate those people. I hate those people at the ATMs. I hate them at drive-throughs. I just get in a damn line and move on.
There's a great Karen video. I've been watching Karens in the Wild on YouTube. It's my new favorite show. And there's one where a woman got in the drive-through and apparently she was oblivious or something happened where she got in first and the woman thought it was supposed to be her in the double merge in.
Okay.
And she got out of her car and stood in front of her car and called the cops while her emasculated husband stood with her with his head down like this, but blocking the car with her, but he wouldn't look up and talk. And like this goes on for 10 minutes, then the cop shows up and the woman's like, what is like this is how petty people are these days.
Well, and I would like, was the cop just like get in your car and move along?
Yes, totally. He's like, get out of here.
Get the hell out of here. Yeah, I can't believe you're wasting our time with this crap.
So like here's one about how well scientists are paid, and when everybody screams science, I always love studies like this because it's like the no shit study. A new study shows every week of lockdown increases binge drinking.
No.
It's some revelating shit.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Called a couple.
Yeah, you'll notice I'm no longer sitting at the bar, but I did bring part of the bar with me.
Carried out by the experts at University of Texas Health study. You actually, what are you going to do today? I'm going to see how much more people are drinking now that they're in lockdown. I could have told you that, Bob.
Well, and so here's the funny thing about it. One, they said basically people that binge drink would typically go through 4 to 7 drinks, during a pandemic night like this, whereas the non-binge drinker would always stay at 2. And they said, and what I found interesting is they said there's a 26% decrease in that if you have kids.
Wait, 4 drinks is binge drinking?
I believe anything, yeah, it did, according to the definition.
Yeah. There's some loose definitions when, I remember,
Right.
I remember when I was 19,
Cheers.
Randy. Yeah. When I was 19, we would go to Canada every Friday night, right?
Mhm.
Or every Saturday. And we only had enough money because we were broke idiots for like 4 or 5 beers over the course of like a 5-hour night.
Right.
So we get there at 9, close it at 1, go get coffee and a donut, and then come back. And I was told by a professor that I was like off the scales alcoholic binge drinker for going once a week, having 5 bottles of Molson Golden, or Molson Special Dry. That was my drink.
Drink
And
2 drinks a night, 7 days a week, and you're fine. Drink 5
Yeah.
on one night, bad.
Well, that's my joke. Doctor says 2 a week or 2 a day I can have, so I'd save up till Saturday and have 14.
Hey, 14. Life's
Yeah.
good.
I'm good.
Well, and I think the other study that was probably something of a no shit moment. Hey, Detroit is number 1 when it comes to smokers.
Dude, that number is shocking.
Why?
I'm trying to find out where that article is, but like Detroit came in at number 1 at 29% of Detroiters. Number 1 with a bullet. No pun intended. So now here's where it gets crazy. So if you go down the list, Flint is number 3. This is in the USA.
Yeah.
At 29.1. Detroit's 29.2. Then you get down to Toledo being 9th.
Well, was it Cleveland or Cincinnati that's number 2?
Cleveland. And they're tied with
2.
Detroit.
Warren, Michigan is number 20 in the US. Warren, 25%. Dearborn is 23rd at 25%. But like this is like,
well, Ohio's got 6 of the top 20. We've got 3 of the top 20.
Yeah, when you look at the it's a lot of Midwest going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Gary, Indiana.
Which is weird because, I mean, you think about, like, when you tend to think about states with high percentage of smokers, you tend to think of the South, where, you know, the tobacco industry is and has always has been. But I mean,
it's apparently the Rust Belt.
Yeah, I mean, how many
overall
times?
Overall percentage US is 13.7%.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many times have you walked outside to find me?
I'm surprised it's that high these days.
I mean, you know, how many times have you walked outside to find me because I'm out smoking and been like, holy crap, this is where half the bar is.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: smoking these days is almost as taboo as not wearing a mask. Like it's like, like when you see someone, you're like, get away, get away
you
from
can't
me.
wear a mask while you're smoking. That's how that works.
Well, you got to have the cut in the middle, like the Terrence and Phillip cut. Then you can smoke through the mask.
You have to have the Canadian head.
Yes. Then it's okay. No, but like, again, if you're not like outside a dive bar, it's pretty taboo. Like if you stand outside like the mall or something and smoke, dude, people will look at you like you're a leper. But like 25-29%.
And then 2 drinks later, they're right back outside asking you for one. That's how
exactly. Yo, man, can I bum you one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Want a Lucy? Is that a Detroit thing? Only asking for a Lucy? I always thought that was that's a common name.
No, that was an East Coast thing when I was there.
Like, who's Lucy?
You got some
in the sky with diamonds, Randy.
Yeah. Famous redhead 50s black and white show. Yeah. No, so I guess let's dive in on all the Disney fun and excitement, because
holy crap
are they putting out a lot of stuff. I think Star Wars might be profitable for them.
It's not just that. It's why did they do, like, did they need to dump at one day? Like, what?
It was Investor Day. So it was, hey, here's
here's how we're making you money.
Exactly. Here's how we're spending your money, and here's how much money you're going to make off that money.
So I'm going to go through what looks good and what looks like shit, shall we?
We're starting with Star Wars.
Let's start with Star Wars. I watched all of the over the weekend. I watched all of the trailers, the teaser trailers. Bad Batch, I think, is going to be awesome. but it's animated and it's just going to feature the clones. And I think right now they got enough cachet right now where that thing is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it will. My question with that is, like, I don't know how far that concept is going to carry. Like, is that already, like, I want to know if that's already known to be like they're only going to do a season or they're only going to do 2 seasons, because like I don't know that I see that storyline being able to go like Rebels duration or Clone Wars duration. That kind
Well,
of stuff.
I did hear the Obi-Wan is going to be a mini series, one shot done. So it's going to be 4, 6, because they're like Hayden Christensen returns. So it's supposed to be 10 years after 3, in between 3 and 4, basically. Luke's going to be 10. So it's during that time period. And there's going to be a showdown with Vader. They're like, why have Hayden Christensen? They're like, well, they're teasing a scene with Ahsoka and Vader where she cut half of his mask off and he talked in like a distorted voice, but his voice came out and it wasn't that deep booming James Earl Jones voice.
So wasn't that
was in Rebels?
I was like, that was in
Yes.
Rebels.
Yeah.
So they're teasing that scene's going to happen in Obi-Wan.
Okay.
I'm
here for it. Give me.
Yeah, they don't know if Maul's going to be in it, but they said it's going to be 4 or 6 episodes, and they look, you know, the teaser looks like it's going to be sweet. Well, it looks like hot trash. I'll watch it anyway. Andor star, which is Cassian from Rogue One,
Right.
and they're going to like jump back a couple years and like do some Rogue One stuff before the Rogue One happened. It, like I said, it's good. It looks like shit to me.
Yeah, that's probably the weakest concept of
Oh,
all of these that they've
absolutely.
announced. But
Who pitched
Diego,
that and then go, yeah, let's green light that after all the cool crap?
Diego Luna's a good actor though, so
Yeah, no, he's cool. He's a likable character.
yeah, that too.
But he's not memorable in terms of like when you go back into Star Wars lore. Like, wouldn't you rather have like an early Lando? You know what I mean? Like from the Solo, you know, like, you know what I mean? Something, I don't know. There's some stuff that has more cachet, I think. I'll watch it anyway. Then there's the one that I thought that should be the first project. It was a droid story. Basically an R2D2 C3PO show all day. You go watch them just freaking playing cards. I don't care. And then there's, I don't know what Visions is, the anime. I try to catch, there's some cool Star Wars anime on YouTube. I could watch that crap all day.
You know, so it's one of those things where so Rebels loved, Clone Wars loved. I've tried 5, 6 times now to get into Resistance, and I can't. Like,
Resistance is the worst.
It just I can't.
It's
do
too kid friendly.
It's too weeby. Yeah.
What is the one now? The untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars movie that already been in development. I think it's for like 22 or 23 release. Like, I have no idea what that is.
I don't think they've released details about it.
Yeah, and then they said the Ahsoka's going to have her own spin-off show.
Yeah.
And then we don't know what's going to happen. They said that Mandalorian might turn into the Boba Fett show by the end of this thing. So they might just merge.
Now, see, I thought they confirmed that Boba Fett was getting a limited spin-off series as well.
Don't know. This is I mean, I watched everything.
Okay.
In terms of the trailers and everything. That's what I heard and was told, or, you know, who knows though. So these
what is an event series?
That's
Star Wars Lando miniseries.
Yeah, that's a limited series event.
That's
Do we not use the term miniseries anymore?
No, we don't. That's no.
No.
Oh, okay.
You know what else looks like hot garbage? The Loki show. Looks like absolute hot garbage.
It's low key what? No, I'm kidding. I'm just being a smart ass.
Thor's brother, Dave.
I was low key out.
Oh,
I don't know. They set that up pretty hard in the movie though.
Was he not the most unlikable character in that whole entire Avengers series?
Everybody loves Loki.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Hawkeye. Just throwing that out there. And they're making a Hawkeye show too.
Yeah. Yeah, these series start rolling out January for WandaVision, then Falcon and Winter Soldier in March, and then
Papa Doc and Bucky. That's going to be like a cop show.
Right.
Yeah.
Loki's in May, Hawkeye's in
hoping
the fall. So
I'm hoping it's Marvel Starsky and Hutch. That's what I'm hoping for.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Papa
Yeah,
Doc
I'm hoping that's Marvel Starsky and Hutch. I really
It should be. They should
I
make it
want
like
a Huggy Bear. I want.
no. They see now that's the one thing they take this stuff too seriously. Like, why can't they make it like? I always thought they should do Ben Affleck Batman with Matt Damon and make him dress up like Adam West Batman and Robin, and like do something campy. Like, I don't see anything like wrong with it, but everybody's got to be dark. We got to make it Tim Burton and like, just...
Dude, I've said it a million times. Like, I'm just over and done with every movie has to be the end of the world, end of the universe, end of the galaxy, end of the whatever. Like, just give me Joker trying to rob a bank and Batman stopping him. That's cool.
Right.
I'm good.
Fine. Yeah.
That's all I need.
Fine.
Give
but
me
then,
some,
here's
give
the
me
thing,
some
like
Fifth
Marvel,
House whack. I'm
Marvel's
good.
going way deep though in this library. Like, they're called She-Hulk. Was She-Hulk even relevant when we were growing? Like, which is
the comic was, yeah. And so I mean, again, so that's one of those things they're trying to obviously, I mean, they're trying to stress diversity and inclusion. I mean, so like they're trying to give more female oriented characters something on the forefront.
great. But
yeah.
like, I think,
What
She-Hulk
makes
wasn't. If you're going to talk to me about strong female characters, She-Hulk's not on my radar.
well, no, but so honestly, the funny thing to me is you watch the comments on that shit, and the self-proclaimed fanboys were like, "Oh my god, everything's got to be, why can't Hulk just be Hulk? Why is it got to be a woman now?" Dumbass, you clearly there's always been a She-Hulk. Like, they're always.
Why do you got to do stupid Hulk and then realize you screwed up and then remake it 2 years later?
Right. Well, yeah. Apparently they greenlit yet another shot at Fantastic Four.
No.
Yeah, this one will be controlled by Marvel though, so higher hopes for this than
like
was it Sony had it before?
They just suck.
And it doesn't have to. Like, it was like that cartoon was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it really was.
Honestly, that's been one of the things that I've loved about Disney Plus is the old X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
That's been a phenomenal watch.
They're great.
Yeah.
I guess Black Panther 2 also. I don't know if they're going to use
and they've said they're not going to recast his role. So I'm assuming it's going to be one of those things where they mention he dies and then move on.
Well, yeah, that suit was inherited though, so you can pretty much put anyone in that role and then just have it.
Well, yeah, but
probably
you're still going to have to make mention of the fact that he died, and I believe.
Yeah, of course. You start off.
Yeah, they said it's his sister that's going to be the new Black Panther.
Cool. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy
18 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, holiday special.
Yeah, leads up to or is filmed alongside Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So
did we talk about it last week? But I mean, are we talking about like all these movies are like that are dropping on HBO Max instead of going to the theater?
Yeah.
So we did, and that's one of the stories that came across this week is how pissed off everybody is about that, at least from the film industry perspective. And I guess, honestly, I didn't really think about that perspective at all when we were talking about it. But you think about all the people that have, back end deals and percentage points. And, if the box office hits this, then we get that and that sort of thing. And I guess they had to throw a bunch of money at Gal Gadot to do for the whole straight to HBO Max on Christmas Day thing to make her happy. But what they've said, and this is one of the things that Christopher Nolan was kind of bitching about, is that, we know they're not going to throw they called it Wonder Woman money around at all these other properties. And I think I believe it was a company called Legend that was the primary backer of Dune and one of the other big properties that's going straight to HBO Max now. And they were like, dude, it was the Godzilla versus Kong movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, Netflix offered $225 million to have the streaming rights for that, and you gave it to your own internal property. And so now, of course, there's lawsuits and all this other kind of stuff because, okay, we invested in this project thinking it was going to be a blockbuster. You gave it to your own internal property and took away all those ticket sales. Now what?
Who is actually buying tickets, though? Like, are people actually going to go see it in theaters? Is there going to be a huge box office turnout? Or
after January 20th, Randy? Yes.
Will the 6th? Because I mean, Joe Biden won the election again today. again.
Again. And then he's gonna win it again. Well, the thing though, like Christopher Nolan, this is what I wanted to get into real quick. He ripped HBO Max as the worst streaming service, and he's dead on right. Me and my wife got into Flight Attendant with Kaylee Cuoco. Is it Cuoco?
Cuoco, yeah.
Cuoco.
Whatever. A Flight Attendant. Flight Attendant's great, by the way, if you haven't caught it.
Okay.
And it didn't work. Aired out. I had to log in on my phone and then push it to the TV.
Really?
And then it finally worked. Like it's given me errors almost every single time I've ever tried to use it, because you got to log in through Comcast, and then if your Comcast app isn't logged into, then you can't get an HBO. It's trash. It doesn't just work on my TV. It's like you have to be a Comcast customer. I'm like, I'm using it on effing Comcast.
That's right. You should know, based on the cable connection that I have, that I'm coming in through Comcast. And how is that not a thing already?
And then you have to but then you have to, at the end of it, there's like the next episode button. I'm so spoiled from Netflix and fast forwarding and everything.
Just autoplay.
But you have to know, on HBO Max, you have to like either wait to the end or exit completely out. Right.
No. Give me that next episode button, like as soon as those credits start, or get out.
No, I have to do back arrow, then go to episodes, and then go. Yeah, it's bad.
No.
My only issue with HBO Max is trying to browse the catalog of shows and movies available. Like, the organization and the interface for doing that is just terrible.
Well, you only see like 12 things.
Yeah.
Well, and so I was kind of surprised that, that was part of that article, was that apparently HBO Max has only pulled in 8 million subscribers so far. Like I'd have thought, especially with that announcement about movies a couple weeks ago, that number would be a hell of a lot higher than that. Because weren't we just talking last? Like, I mean,
Disney's like 68.
Like Hulu has 30 something million. Disney has 67 million, whatever that was, because Disney was twice as much as Hulu when they were talking about folding them together. Wow.
I don't even pay for it. Like, it's included in my cell phone bundle.
Yeah.
Like, it's a perk.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Randy. Bob. I forgot I had a gift for both of you. Or for me.
I have fear.
It's William Hung, and you're listening to Bob and Dave on the IT in the D show. She bangs, oh baby, when she moves, I go crazy.
That was the hands down the best $23 I have ever spent.
And you didn't have him. Didn't have him try to pronounce Hanukkah, which is for the best, apparently.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No. Who was it? Oh God, there was somebody that just got paid to do a cameo for somebody's aunt, and didn't get Hanukkah.
Smokey Robinson.
Thank you, Smokey. Yeah, it was somebody famous. Yeah.
So I'm going through the cameos, and I knew Hung was there for $20, right? I just wanted to see, like, Undertaker was $1,000. There's everyone's on cameo, and there's a whole bunch of people that are, and then our boy Ming's on cameo. He is. He costs more than William Hung. I think he was $29. What up, Ming? And then
which, I mean, honestly, just send him a calendar invite for your podcast. He'll say whatever you want him to say. That's
right. Ric Flair's $500.
Get shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a woo. That's a boo.
Yeah, there's just like, but there's so many people that like who? It's just bizarre how many like. Oh, and then did you hear about the new supposedly hot app that's coming out? It's called Clubhouse.
Oh, it's already out, dude.
No, but I know it's like the
new
hot invite.
Yeah.
It's invite only. It's iPhone or iOS, iPhone, iPad only.
You basically get to eavesdrop on conversations. So it's basically like it's like a party line. Our cottage up in the Thumb had a party line with the whole street. So if you pick up the phone, you could hear like the neighbors talking. So when I was a kid, I used to always try to catch someone.
You try to like make sure that like you try to keep the click from clicking.
Yeah. And you're like, I can hear you breathing. You're like, shit, hang up. Dice is $300.
Dude.
There's some people like Kevin Dillon from Entourage is $300. Just to hear him go Johnny Drama victory. Like I don't. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is $500. Only if you do airplane lines. Troy Aikman $750. Like, are people doing this? Akon is $1,000.
Who?
Akon.
Musician.
Oh,
Kenny G is $300. I'm just like flipping through.
just have him play his sax for you.
Like after you read all of this, oh my god! And then Mark McGrath is $90. Tommy Lee is $400. After all this, though, then you see William Hung for $20. You're like, all day. All day.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to forward that to me so I can rip it.
Right. Oh, absolutely. That's
actually, so the one thing we forgot to talk about when we were talking about trailers and all that shit, the Cobra Kai trailer dropped for season 3.
yeah, that's like weird.
Hey,
No, but like, what the hell's going on?
so obviously they're going back to Okinawa, and more importantly, we pseudo got a release date. It's coming out in January. They didn't tell us when, so it might
Is it become the Hilary Swank version now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be Hilary Swank, and Will Smith's kid. That's
And
who's
then
gonna star.
what was the bad boy of karate? And like that was like Karate Kid 6 or something.
I don't know. Yeah, well, no, but Chosen is in it from Karate Kid 2 because they are going back to Okinawa. And so, all the fan theories are running rampant about, is I guess Tomiko is going to be in it. And, so is there going to be this whole huge plot point of, is Daniel going to, because when last we left them, Daniel and his wife are fighting about the whole Miyagi-Do thing. If he goes back to, Okinawa trying to rekindle all this, is he also going to rekindle with Tomiko? Or is it going to be that Zabka comes with him because Zabka's trying to, now we've got, Kreese doing his thing. Is Zabka going to go with him? And is Zabka going to slide in on Tomiko? And then that's going to be a further thing between the two of them. So give me.
It sounds like not saying they jumped a shark, but it's like,
Dude.
it doesn't sound good.
Dude, the last season ended with a slow motion fight scene in a high school that looked like a mall. Do not nostalgia this already. It's only a year old.
You know what I forgot to talk about earlier with all the Rona crap and the dumb stuff going on? Apparently in Ohio, you can wrestle, and I'm not talking like pro wrestling.
No. It's wrestling.
Amateur wrestling, like high school wrestling. Yeah. You can wrestle, but because of Rona, you're not allowed to shake hands of your opponent when the match is over.
Yeah, which a little bizarre. That's
so someone's sitting in a room.
You can have your hands all over another person. Basically, because the standard wrestling position is one guy on their hands and knees,
doggy style.
Yeah, and you're breathing right down somebody's neck. You can do that, but you can't shake hands.
Right. So someone had to sit in a room and go, I don't think shaking hands is safe. And then 72 people didn't look at him going, are you an idiot? And then they actually publish it and make it a thing. How
dumb are you? Yeah, it's prostitute rules. No kissing. That's what it is. It's
now another big change comes from officiating. At the end of the match, it's going to be like what's that karate video game where they just raise the flag? They don't raise the arm of the winner.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that was Karate Kid.
No, it was it was like the very first quarter arcade karate game.
Oh, God. There was
two-player
Kung Fu Master. There was,
but red wins.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, they're raising a flag and not, because that makes sense.
Well, and then also from the Rona standpoint, the study that came out that was, I believe, across 5 states and the District of Columbia, that confirmed pretty much what we all already know, and that is that it is the worst human beings on the planet that, by and large, are going out during Corona, during this pandemic, to eat and drink at restaurants and bars.
Well, you remember when we were talking about how long ago did we go to like the PF Chang's that one time, and when we sat on the patio? This was maybe July-ish?
Yeah.
And I was commenting on how like every waitress that would help would serve us was skittish and like walking on eggshells and going and apologizing when they didn't have to. And I'm like, who's here before us? Like, what's going on? And
it's like when you get a dog that flinches every time you raise your voice, and you're like, "Who hit you?" Like,
yeah.
what?
Well, like and we talked about this. Like, I remember I was arguing about this on the thing, like going, like, how appreciative, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
who's
exactly.
not appreciative of this?
Yeah, but no. So yeah,
like,
the study basically said that not only are people going out and tipping for shit, which screw you and every horse you rode in on. The term that they called out that I want to make sure I get this right is masculine harassment. Where basically, people were number one, people are bitching about having to wear a mask and all that kind of stuff. But number two, apparently, they were asking the waitresses to pull their mask down so they could figure out how much to tip them.
That I don't get. That doesn't. Did they get that once? They get that more than once? Because if they got that more than
apparently,
that's
because if you're attractive, you get a bigger tip.
That's how that
works.
works.
That's stupid. And so hold on. For me, being the equal opportunity offender, all the HOA presidents too. If you do see someone without a mask, then they're running up to them outdoors, and like there's the lady that like the people were at a picnic table by themselves.
Okay.
And she like ran up to them and like I think she threw a coffee on them and was like, oh yeah, this is on those stupid Karen videos.
Oh, I thought you were talking, dude. I thought you meant like in your neighborhood. I was
no. These are the stories. But like the people that like going up, I see someone without a mask, then they run up to them and try to shame them, and they take videos of them, and they're like screaming at them. And it's like, come on, if you see like, isn't it? Because then the guy's like, well, get away from me. Like I thought social distancing. You know what I mean? Like he's not like the people aren't around anyone. And
right.
they're out in the open.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm walking down the street by myself, odds are good I'm not wearing a mask.
What was the line? The people that wear the masks driving alone are the same people that masturbate with condoms on.
I mean, that's okay. That's a little different. If you're in your car by yourself with your mask on, I'm absolutely judging the hell out of you.
I never said the M word on the show. I just wanted a chance to drop it.
But a business that's thriving apparently is OnlyFans. Go figure.
Oh my God.
$2 billion with a B.
Well, I remember when we read the top earners and we're like, who the hell's that? Who the hell's that?
Oh yeah. Like,
who the hell's that?
China and whoever the hell else it was.
But apparently, yeah, they started in 4 years ago. They didn't really take off for, I think, until Bella Thorne, is that her name?
Yep.
Kind of screwed everyone over.
Yeah.
But they have 1 million creators that collectively rake in $200 million per month.
Are they still cracking down on adult content, or like I don't understand where they are on this?
I think that was the point, to see people's boobies.
No, it's like personal trainers and stuff like that is supposedly what, because we talked about this before. No. They were cracking down on adult entertainers on OnlyFans, and like something like Just for Fans is designed definitely for adult entertainers.
But you think about it, like OnlyFans has 1 million creators, and if you put that into perspective, Patreon has, which is common, like I guess because we're podcasters, we know about it, but it's got 100,000 creators and just surpassed $1 billion in payouts after 6 years in business. So I mean, think about OnlyFans; it dwarfs what Patreon is as a revenue collection agent, business. And they take a 20% cut, so that's their cut from the top, which isn't.
Oh, interesting. Sorry, just to back up for a sec. So Bianca chimed in, and one corrected me. It's not Tamiko, it's Kumiko. But two, apparently, the movies that are being released to HBO Max are only going there for 30 days, and then they get pulled.
I only need 2 hours.
Right.
I mean, what do you got to do over the weekend besides watch movies? It's gotten to the point where I'm binge watching Flight Attendant. That's how starved I am for anything. Because I banned dubbed movies on Netflix.
You're done.
Done. There was one that looks really good. Then I watched that preview clip. I'm like, dubbed, not watching it. I'm not even gonna bother.
Oh, Bob. What do we got?
Oh, we forgot to talk about Spider-Man 3. That's kind of a big deal.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, they're bringing in Daredevil. I don't know. Is he going to be the bad guy? Is he going to be the alignment with them? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm all over this. Like, to me, that's the one. Like, I'm a Spider-Man kind of half in, half out. They're good movies. I'll watch them, but I'm not going to be like, oh my god. But like, they're bringing in Daredevil. I'm kind of in oh my god mode. Like, I love the series. I was a huge, huge fan. So like,
yeah, and the Netflix contract is up. There was a 2-year
it's
thing.
gone.
So yeah.
But what about the Ben Affleck movie? It was so. Can they just erase that? So this is something this is kind of a deeper topic, but I kind of want to talk about it. That is it 49 or is it all or 48 states? The state attorney generals are suing to try to break up the Facebook.
So there is a federal lawsuit in addition to a separate lawsuit brought by 48 attorneys general.
Yeah, and it's they want to basically split off Instagram and WhatsApp from Facebook.
Right.
Which I kind of don't get because they run autonomously anyway.
No, they don't. I mean, so like Facebook and like especially Facebook and Instagram. Well, actually, all three of them. So Facebook, if you have a Facebook page, you can connect and manage all of your Instagram stuff through it. WhatsApp is actually the recommended form of communication on a Facebook page now. And so it was and they were talking about it's all the data and analytics and all that kind of stuff. To me, and I almost have to agree with Facebook, especially about the Instagram thing. You're talking about like Facebook bought Instagram 9 years ago in 2011.
Was it that long ago?
It's a little late to be trying to undo that move.
Well, here's my take, and it's kind of like when people complain about Amazon and Walmart. It's one thing to complain about like the Bells and these like huge government monopolies that have been around forever and ever. These are companies that started out of people's garages.
Yep.
And they changed the way we all do everything. Like, not only that, they do with the cloud computing, like they kind of revolutionized that. So like anything that Amazon gets and makes is because they completely redid on how we shop and buy and people sell. Because people forget too that there's like 2 million or 2.5 million small businesses that sell through Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Like this isn't just one monolith with one person accepting orders. This is like distribution networks that span the entire country. And then Facebook again started in a freaking dorm room. Is it their fault that they became a de facto, hold on. And me, I always bitch at them why they need to get so big because, aren't they just happy making a few billion? You know what I mean? Do they really need to like own all the data and sell all this, and do AI and all this bullshit? But these are companies that started out of people's garages and dorms. So, I don't know.
The issue they're specifically pulling out is that it's not that they've grown, it's that they've bought companies that were potential threats to them. And that's
what business does.
I know, but but there are some cases where that's an antitrust issue.
Dude, we learned that in UHF, man. RJ Fletcher is going to turn into a parking lot.
Well, yes, I mean that's no shit. But no, so I mean that's that's specifically they cited the emails that they found between Zuck and the CFO, I believe it was, where the language in
the guy that played Spider-Man.
Right, where Lex Luthor and it was basically hey, yeah, we need to buy them before they become a threat, that sort of thing, which is, I mean, basically textbook antitrust, violation language. It's a very fine line. Like,
you're supposed to say that in a bar over a cigar.
Exactly. Yeah. You never put it in writing unless you want it on the front page. But no, so I mean, that's where I think the issues are stemming from. And I'm kind of on the same page with you. Like if you get big enough and you do, like, dude, nobody held a gun to Instagram's head and made them sell. Nobody, held a gun to WhatsApp's head and made them sell. And they cite the fact that, the founders of both companies, have gone and left. Well, dude, they got their payday and they're out.
Isn't that the goal of all these big, I want to run a startup, build it up for 10 years and then sell it to Cisco and then do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like, that's only story I've ever heard since the minute I got into IT was that is like the ultimate dream. So like,
wasn't that the South Park, Washington Redskins model? What was it? Start up, build up, sell out, bro down.
Oh, and then, by the way, not to go real quick, Cleveland Indians now are changing their name to the apparently they're the ship steamer business they're going to pay homage to and be the Cleveland Steamers.
Cleveland Steamer, nice.
Truth to that. No, but they're changing to whatever the Cleveland baseball team.
Apparently they are dropping the name. They weren't sure if that was going to happen before the 2021 season or not.
It's now going official with the 2022 season.
So yeah,
and that's, anyway, not that you care about my opinion, but you want to get rid of Chief Wahoo all day. You want to stop calling them the Indians. Come on, man. Like, what are they are they gonna race Major League now?
Oh, good point.
Ricky Vaughn, you can't take away Ricky Vaughn.
We all the wild thing in Jobu, I think we all need.
Right, exactly.
Willie Mays Hayes.
I better buy my Jobu doll before they get
it gets banned. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna be really interested to see what comes out of this thing. Because again, Facebook's starting to, the problem is it's like one of those things where it's like if Walmart's the only grocery store in town and you're stuck buying from there, you might not like it, but it's the only game in town. And that's what Facebook's become for me. It's the only game in town. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, yeah. And I mean, it's, dude, we've talked about this a million times. Like I don't have the attention span or the patience for Twitter. Like I don't have, and even like Instagram got boring to me when it stopped, when it was stopped being food and that kind of stuff. And it turned into like models with 37 filters. But I mean, there are alternatives out there.
They're influencers though. They can sell socks
that can't sell 20 t-shirts. But no, so I mean, it's one of those things where, there are alternatives out there. And it was funny. It's actually funny that this topic came up because I just sat down and watched. Do you remember the old movie Antitrust? And not even all that old. I think it was like 2002, 2003, with Ryan Philippe and Claire Forlani. It was Tim. I can't remember the guy's name from Jacob's Ladder and a bunch of other movies. Anyway, but it's a very Bill Gates-ish story, and very obviously like kind of poking at Microsoft and basically tech giant either buying or killing other buying off or killing other developers that are in order to get where he wants to get. So I found it interesting that the story came across this week.
Gates is getting trashed this week really bad. He's calling out that businesses should remain closed. It's like, oh, Mr. Worth 120 billion. You're going to tell small business owners that, can't, got to tell their kids there's no Santa this year.
And pony up from the foundation bill.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, did you, speaking of Rona, did you hear, I know you were talking about the episode of SNL last week. Did you see what they're doing to skirt the New York Rona rules?
Oh, they've been doing this since the Chris Rock episode. This was actually an old article you threw across.
I just heard about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But apparently they're paying their audience and they're designating them as employees so they can get them in the building.
Yeah, they 1099 them and they get them. They're basically extras for the night.
Yeah. They were. That was one of the person said we had no idea we'd be paid before we were handed checks. We were pleasantly surprised. I mean, it's $150. I mean, that's the thing. People would probably pay $150 to go.
Yeah.
But instead they're getting paid. So. You know what I just found out too? How little that cast gets paid. Like, what would you think? Like a Pete Davidson. It's hard to name anyone that's on SNL these days, but like Pete Davidson is like one of the 2-3 names that you think.
Okay.
What do you think he gets paid a year from SNL?
Dude, I have no frame of reference.
$300,000.
Okay.
So it's like, I think it's 15 grand an episode, and I think they do 20 some episodes.
Don't know. I have to go back and look. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's right. 15 an episode.
yeah, but you think like if you're on a sitcom, I know the rules are different and everything.
Well, and I think honestly, I think part of it is you look at it from in some way you're doing it for the exposure, because the hope is that getting a role on SNL leads to
When you
the
get a movie deal,
career,
yeah, I know.
to the yeah. I mean, again, like how many times do we have to talk about Adam Sandler and how much Netflix is paying his ass?
Dude, that's one. Like you want to tell Bill, he's got Bill Gates money.
And
Like,
nobody knows, and nobody talks about it.
knows,
Yeah.
right? Nobody like now they do, I think, but nobody's angry about it because Billy Madison's funny,
Right.
right? If Bill Gates would just make Billy Madison now, and then no one would, no one would be mad. Are you sad, by the way? Flash Player, is basically going to block playback on January 12th, and it just released the last update ever.
Honestly, was not aware that it was even still out there.
Have you? Is there a website? I mean, basically, what they're saying here is it's been on the chopping block since 17. I thought it was earlier.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought I remembered it like it was supposed to be going away back in 17 or 18.
But in 15, apparently, they were urging developers to switch to HTML5. But I mean, who's clinging onto it where they can't? Where it's got to be like they're still making updates for it.
I don't think new features, just security updates and things like that.
I'm sure something embedded in a large company, something. Yeah,
well, apparently there's an open source emulator called Ruffle, that's keeping around 1,000 old Flash games, that they're basically gonna. It's like a museum, but they're basically they're gonna hopefully run them forever, or at least as long as they can. I mean, you can still play Commodore 64 games on emulators, so I mean,
right. So also on, we didn't talk about this on the Rona tip. Bowling inside bad, but bowling inside outside good.
So like, article comes out from NPR, right? And it's about this guy who started Lucky Strike, and apparently dude, he's like 30. But he got like a big semi trailer.
Lucky Strike is cigarettes, Bob.
No, Lucky Strike is like in Novi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's called Lucky Strike.
Dave and Buster's bowling alley place. He's 34. Lucky Strike Bowling, and then it's the world's first mobile bowling alley. So, and I think this is a great story. And I'm like, I love, I'm a big bowler, or I used to be when I could walk. But then you read this thing and you're like, wait a minute. So bowling alleys are closed, but if you put it inside a semi trailer and put it outside, then it's fine.
But you're still inside the trailer when you're, so you're inside, but it's like those igloos. So you're inside, but you're outside, but you're inside.
Right. And it's closed still.
And it's
no, this
outside.
This is Luxury Strike.
What is
this bowling company?
Well, that's what he calls it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's $500 for 2 hours to bring a semi truck with a bowling alley. Like, I guess if you need to bowl that bad.
Yeah, because it was Lucky Strike in Novi. We've done an event there before.
Okay.
Oh yeah, bunch of
gotcha.
times.
Okay.
Bunch of times. Great venue. But yeah, the fact that that's legal, like, come on.
Events. I remember.
One of the ones that I was laughing about, we should have talked about it earlier, but apparently Visa and MasterCard, Pornhub's been going through some weird stuff lately.
So this goes back to what Randy was talking about before the show started. Yeah.
Yeah, so then Visa and MasterCard and their card use on Pornhub. The first thing I thought about it was like, people pay for Pornhub?
Right. Well, and it stems from a New York Times article where basically they pointed out that it featured the story of a woman who basically got attacked, and the footage of that was uploaded and still available on Pornhub after she had contacted them to take it down. And finally, I think she just created a fake Gmail account pretending to be a lawyer, and they finally took it down. And so the whole thing was about revenge porn and that kind of stuff, and stuff that's uploaded without people's knowledge. And so Visa and MasterCard said, so early in the week, I think it was like Tuesday, that story came out that Visa and MasterCard said, okay, we're cutting them off, we're done. And yeah, to your point, people are paying for porn. Who knew? Then the ripple effect came out today where apparently Pornhub has now deleted all user submitted videos, like to like tens of millions of videos are now gone off of Pornhub. And like you have to be a verified, I don't know what it takes to be a verified user, but you have to be a verified user now to upload content.
That's the meme, like, how patient are you? And it was like page 62.
46.
I did see
Or
something earlier today.
How picky are you? Yeah.
I can't track it down, but something like 118-ish issues with illegal content on Pornhub. Meanwhile, Facebook's got like thousands and thousands.
Well, and that was one of Pornhub parent company. I can't remember the name of it, but one of their defenses to this whole thing was, look, dude, Twitter lets people post whatever the hell they want. Facebook posts whatever the hell they want.
Well, as long as you're not a conservative, dude.
Right. Instagram lets you post whatever the hell you want. And there's no, verification process. There's no anything. And yeah, if it gets flagged, it'll get pulled. And they were like, well, that's the same thing we do. If it gets flagged, it gets pulled. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, because now is that going to ripple across to other sites?
It should.
Well, they're all owned by a few companies. Like all of the sites across the internet that
Really?
porn are owned by a handful of companies.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes back to, as long as you comply with legal terms and conditions, this stuff should be fine to post. Like things like revenge porn and snuff films and all that should not be. You know what I mean? Again, it goes back to, you can't crawl out for First Amendment, because obviously you can't, it goes back to the fire in a theater.
Can't yell fire in a theater. Yeah.
And then it goes back to, trust me, I'm on team Larry Flint with the whole decency laws. Like, well, who's going to deem what's decent and what's not?
Right.
Well, there's just certain stuff in human society that's just freaking not, dude. And a snuff film obviously falls into that category, and revenge porn falls into that category as well.
Not right there with you. I guess on something of a lighter note, apparently just, I guess, speaking of credit cards, a 6-year-old kid racked up $16,000 on his mom's credit card playing a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Oh my God.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, you remember the joke that I posted on Facebook when Annie bought
the fart app? Yeah.
The fart. Oh, no, it was like the add-on to the Alexa farts.
Yeah.
And it was like $1.79, but I got an email that showed did this mom not get any notifications about purchases? I don't, you know what I'm saying? He bought add-on boosters starting at $1.99 red rings, moving up to $99 gold rings.
Plus,
it was like 16
in-app purchases require verification. So, like, should she give the kid her Apple Store password?
Yes, no, that's actually a setting you have to turn on. So that was part of her issue. And I mean, for what it's worth, like I had a much smaller similar issue with my kid. I've got 2-factor authentication turned on. I've got purchase authentication turned on at some point in time. So, and it was funny because, I've got the kids those green light debit cards, and so when they do their their chores and their allowances and all that kind of stuff, we put money on those, and that's what's tied to that's tied into his Xbox and that kind of stuff. Apparently he never changed it over on his iTunes account, and so when he started buying stuff there, it was going through, but it wasn't going off of his card. It was going off of my billing information. And like I said, I know damn well and good, I had purchase authentication turned on. I had all of that stuff turned on for all the child level accounts. And it didn't notify me. And Bob, to your point, those emails went to spam for whatever reason, and I didn't see them until I went digging for them to try to figure out what was going on. Because he spent like $100 and something bucks. Like it wasn't 16 grand, but he dropped like $100 and something bucks on these stupid games he was playing over the course of like 3 days. And so even so if you're not the kind of parent that's paying attention to that, or more to the point, if you're the kind of parent like me, where you have those things turned on, and yet something went wrong on their end.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Like, Annie's been infatuated with Talking Tom. I don't know if you know what that is. Like, you talk at it and it comes back in a voice. And like, she's been locked in the house so long now. Angela's her friend, so she talks to Angela all day.
Okay.
I know I'm just being funny, but it's kind of like, oh my God,
right.
that's what's going on. but like there's the ads and the pop-ups and the buy this and the for little kid apps, man. That is like, it's insane what that gets thrown at her over the course of a 5-minute period.
Yep.
Because I just looked over her shoulder and I'm like, what? Oh my God, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I just double check the settings. It's always require a password or require after 15 minutes. But if he's doing it multiple days, then she had to have given the password or something to the kid.
Okay, but so it depends on always require a password. Is it requiring the child account's password or the adult level? Because like I said, dude, when I set all that stuff on mine, it required a note, like it did a push notification to me.
Well, this says it was her iPad. The article says it was her iPad.
So it's not even. So it's, So that's.
So she had to give the password to the kid.
So speaking of dumb people and Rona, and this is kind of the culmination of the week. The people are leaving 1-star reviews for Yankee candles that they don't smell, and they realize they just have the Rona and they lost their sense of smell.
And even in the course of some of these reviews, they're saying, I'm stuck at home quarantined because of COVID, and I'm really angry that this candle has no smell.
Purchased 3 of these. What a waste. There's virtually no scent to these at all. Question mark or exclamation point, exclamation point. If I wasn't confined to my home because of COVID, I would return these for sure. 1 star. And then you just want to like, let me guess. You're a little hot in the head and you can't taste nothing either.
Right.
This chicken don't taste. No shit, Susan. Like 1-star review. Oh my God.
Yeah. God bless people.
Oh, and there's the review. Oh my God. And like you could see there's a graph. Scented candles is the victim of the pandemic. The reviews from 2017 to 20, and there's a wicked dip right at 20.
Yep.
Like, and it's pretty steady, like 4-star-ish, 4.2. And now it's like a solid 3-star, like cumulative review.
Part of me wonders if this isn't like a stunt, and not necessarily by them.
You're a stunt.
But it like if this isn't something that somebody thinks would be hilarious to do, and got all their friends to do, and then it kind of spread from there.
3-wick candles for $9.99 is pretty much the talk of the town. They don't need any more publicity.
Right. Oh no, I mean
everybody's going crazy because they're down to $9.99 or whatever at Bed Bath & Beyond for one day, but you know, the regular price at Aldi is $3.99.
Isn't that what they always cost anyway? Like I go, 99 3-wick candles, that's kind of expensive. Then I figure like, oh my God, and people go nuts over. I'm like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't buy, you know. The only candle I ever wanted to buy was schnitzel and butternoodle flavor.
Let's see, Bath and Body.
And I was trying to look for it. And then the Kentucky Fried Chicken log, I wanted one of those.
Right. Well, and actually, we didn't talk about this when we were yakking about the Mandalorian. Enjoy this.
Apparently, the regular price for a 3-wick candle at Bath and Body Works is $24.50.
Jesus Christ! Get a steak for that, like a good one.
Enjoy this season of The Mandalorian because season 3 is not coming out until Christmas of 2021.
Oh God, a year?
So we're not even done with this season yet, and it's going to be a year from now.
It's going to be like I don't remember shit. Like I'm going to have to watch it again.
You're gonna have to watch. Well, that's all part of their master plan.
I already watch each one 3 times a week.
You know, and I'm not going to lie, there's a part of me that wonders if this isn't some sort of scheme, because one of the things I noticed is like a lot of people that got that first year free deal, whether you like with Verizon or wherever else, those all just ended. And people are like starting to have to pay for it. So are they deliberately because they know, I mean, dude, like Mandalorian's a huge thing for them. So now are they waiting past that 1-year renewal thing, knowing that people will come back for that?
Speaking of which, the price is going up $1 per month.
What for what?
Disney Plus.
It's going to be like Netflix. Every year it's going to be going up $2. $2.
I regret not buying into that 3-year deal they had, but
do you still get the Blu-ray sent to your house, Randy?
No. Disney before they launched had like a 3-year you could sign on early, like before the service even launched, you could get 3 years for like $100 and some dollars.
I did that, and then it was funny because I did that, and then Verizon hit me with their it was 1 year free included. And so I asked, like, I'm like, hey, like I already bought this, but they're like, nope. And so like when the 1 year free from Verizon ends, then this will start for you. And that's how it worked.
Nice.
Yeah, by the way, this we didn't even talk about this Mandalorian. There is a guy, I think it's Screen Rant.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was a guy with a heavy Boston accent.
A heavy Boston accent and a heavy Southern accent talking in the same room. They had the guy from the Rob Zombie Running Man movie.
Right.
The bad guy,
like, this, son, how you doing?
Right. You like the chiclets on my officer jacket?
You want blue gum or red gum?
Right. There's a guy, I think it's called Screen Rant. He his backdrop is like he's in a video store. So I don't know if he's like, and he breaks down the Easter eggs and he's like, oh, that character there that you saw for 1/16 of a second, he looks like the guy in this prison in the mug shots that we were looking when we were looking for Bill Burr. Like he's getting it down to that level.
Wow.
Like when they found Bill Burr in prison and this guy was like right next to him, he's like, that guy was in this screen, you know. But he translates the shit on the screens. Like
it's okay. Then again, like I'm the nerd that sat there during Rogue One, and like as they were flipping past all of the other plans, I'm like, oh, there's the hyperdrive tracking that's going to show up in the future. Oh, there's this that's going to show up. Oh, there's this project. Yeah,
right. But whatever the alphabet's called,
or
yeah, he like he screenshots it and then translates it and then reads it back, and he goes, yeah, and this one's not that big of a deal. It's just like load, save, record. You know what I mean? Like on the terminal.
Wow.
It's just boring. But he's like calling out all this like yeah, it's insane the Easter eggs this guy finds and like the little small nuances and the detail that they put into these episodes. It's for like fan service for Easter eggs. It's almost that's almost more of a story than the actual story itself. It's just with the small little hints that they drop in to try to appease the geek community.
I love the
geek boners. I call them.
Yeah, I love the meme that it's Favreau doing that. Look at me, I am Star Wars now.
It's true. It's true. And then of course there's like 100 memes come out with the terminal that he's looking at. It's like, you know, click all of these that are a street light.
Right. Yeah, it's the CAPTCHA. Yeah.
I still don't understand that part of the episode. Like, what are they doing with his face recording? Are they matching it against an internal database, or
seeing that you weren't
verifying
wanted,
he's human,
seeing that you weren't a criminal?
No. So I think that's going to wind up being a plot point later, because okay, so now they have his face in their database, so that'll wind up getting traced somebody, and that's how Gideon's going to wind up finding out who he is. And there'll be that, like, it's going to be because he's a foundling, so there's going to be something that comes up with like his family or whatever that's going to lead to him questioning everything about being a Mandalorian. You know that's going to happen.
Anakin, not the foundlings.
Right. Or, you know, back to Ohio, not the Yinglings. Yeah, that's
killing Yinglings, killing them. Oh, by the way, we didn't even talk about our 2020 snow day this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Google outage. Yeah,
teachers everywhere were in a panic because the Googles went down. Google Classroom.
I had quite a few teachers that were posting shit, and I had a few that inboxed me that were like, "Dude, what the hell's wrong with Google?" And I'm like, "What? What do I know? What the hell's wrong with?" I'm like,
"Let me call up Larry and Sergey and get to the bottom of this for you."
It done there broke. That's your
right.
response.
I'm like it fall down, go boom. Like right. I got nothing for it. Like
control refresh.
Right.
Erase cookies or delete your cookies.
Right. Have you? Is it plugged in? Is it turned on? Have you rebooted? I got nothing. Like what?
Right.
Yeah. I'm not Google tech support. I got nothing.
And then you know, we don't talk about it, but it's being used in like 90% of Fortune 500s. SolarWinds got destroyed.
This is a potentially very, very, very ugly story.
Oh, go ahead. I don't know. Do you know enough about it?
Oh
I
no, so
don't.
apparently they do like patch release management and that they do release management and that kind of stuff for, I believe it's, God, wasn't it 425 of the Fortune 500, as well as a number of government agencies.
Well, it's network monitoring. It's basically it runs pretty much the Knox all run SolarWinds.
And so they got breached, and so there were several government agencies that were specifically targeted by a hack using that breach, and so now it's kind of like wait and see what the fallout is.
It's like the Russians and the Pentagon and like, good God Almighty!
And I believe the DoD was in the mix as well as the State Department. So,
right,
nice to know.
Yeah, I mean, I at this point, is this stuff even news anymore? It's just today.
Right. Yeah. Here's the breach of the day. Although, you know what, on a positive, I will say, and this is kind of related to the whole COVID thing. I don't know if you read the story that I shot off about the guy from Mabel Gray, that was talking about just how much and how significantly his business has changed over the course of this year, and how much he's enjoyed it. And he just, basically,
or at least publicly, he says he's
no, he's a huge type A person.
Right.
But he said, it's brought him closer to his customers, and he's like, no, never did I think I'd be doing twice the work for half the money. But he's like, these small little virtual cooking classes that they've done, and that we've talked about restaurants that are doing the box kits and that kind of stuff, where you can learn how to make stuff at home. And he's like, it's fun. I mean, it's almost like he had the same mindset that like I've always said I have, like why I love running shows. I love seeing that look on people's faces when they're exhilarated by doing a show or something like that, and that it was just cool to see that, like it was kind of a little positive that had come out from him.
Well, I think we've been talking about that since this whole thing started. I think we've been talking about this since our show started, which is the businesses that adapt. When Walmart comes into town, Mr. Small Mom and Pop, you better increase your level of service or go boutique or bring something in fancy or something they don't have.
Yet again,
you're going to fail.
A South Park episode covered this. Something Walmart this way comes.
Yeah. But I think, and that's the thing, like James Regatos, he's kind of like me where I got no time to mope. You either get up in the morning with a bright eye and look for the best in everything, or you're going to die.
Yep.
Not literally, but figuratively. And you need to adapt and change, right? Like I look at right now, I follow, one of my friends is a bartender at Cabin Cruisers at Cruise and Mirror in Rochester.
Okay.
And they have like, okay, here's, dinner for 2 different dinner for 4s and 2 different dinner for 2s. And 2 of them are fancy. One of them's at a $20 price point for dinner for 4. You know what I mean? So they got like low end, high end, and it's in a nice little box and they'll bring it out to the curbside. Right? Like like they're trying to do something a little bit over and above. And James, was saying he's doing like all the IT vendors right now. They're buying these like high-end cooking classes and shipping raw food, especially with the CISO communities. I know Splunk's been doing this now, like teaching you how to make like these dishes that you would never cook.
Yep.
I mean, Sentinel One sent me the Detroit City Distillery, the 4 cocktail thing. And tomorrow night, we're having like a digital happy hour. I mean, what else we got to do? You know what I mean? So like, you got to come up with some of these creative little ways. But the cool thing is that Detroit City Distillery makes these things. You know what I mean? These little to-go cocktails in a little cool gift box that they're already sold out of, which is testament to them. That they but you got to be creative. You got to shift. You can't just be Muldoon's on the corner, and just say takeout. Like no, nobody, like you gotta
nobody was going to Muldoon's for takeout before. Nobody's going to Muldoon's for takeout now.
right So like that's why you don't, they're not doing well. Go shocker. What I mean? I mean, it's just that, the businesses that are creative are going to come out of this stronger and better. And the bad part is, I want to say the latest stat out of 500,000 restaurants in the U.S. I want to say, the number I think is 110,000 of them are done. They're not coming back. I think it was 17%. I think my number is like 22%, but it ended up being like 17% are gone. which is, dude, it's bad. That's not good for anyone or anything. Because there was, there's waitresses behind those bars that are paying their bills and
or
and
not
raising,
at this point,
and raising kids or making a living. You know what I mean? And then they're not, and they can't. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why OnlyFans is flourishing. No, I'm just.
Oh God, I think it was who was it? I think it was AOC that replied to something. I think it was the New York Post that tweeted out a story that they did about a nurse that was that had an OnlyFans account, and it was to quote unquote make ends meet. And her reply was, "Why isn't the headline? Even our nurses need to have a second stream of income in order to survive these days. What the hell's wrong with you?"
That was my favorite Babylon Bee article ever written. And it's like CEOs line up around the corner to have AOC ban them after Goya sales go up 1,000% after her ban. I'm like, yeah, that's the one thing I never like when people ban. It's kind of like I remember like Chick-fil-A, we're gonna ban them,
or boycott,
and everybody else bands together and go, we're gonna eat there now, and then their sales go up. It's like, do you realize that it's like you're advertising for the people like you're trying to ban? And I wonder if anybody still has those lists going on of all the people that they announced on social media they're banning. I bet you they don't.
Oh, we should try to dig one of those up just to see how they've done this year. That would be interesting.
Which one? Just in general?
No, just like the because there were lists going around of all the companies you weren't supposed to shop with.
Well, it was from both parties. Both parties have their own lists.
Oh, it's no. We should do a comparison and see how those companies have done through 2020.
I'm sure they're struggling really bad.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is going to wrap things up for episode 3. Is it 79? Did I say? I already said 378 of the IT and the D show. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you guys.